All right, here is a patch walkthrough of my most recent song that I'm called Adjust. The main thing that I was having to deal with, I got these two guys, these are my two most recent modules, my FX Aid, which is on a big reverb, I think it's the Clouds reverb, and then the Three Sisters filter here. I was really excited to get both of these and play with them. The main thing that I was exploring with this, having this effects unit, I wanted to not only have it be end of the line, just affecting everything. I wanted to see if I could find a way to have it just affect one voice. But with this being my pretty much only stereo module, I had to get a little creative. So let's walk through and see how I did that. There's three voices in here, just all traditional oscillators. I got Plaits and then the two VCOs from my Minibrute 2S here. I sequence them in a little bit strange of a way, just because as you go through things, and sometimes you find yourself doing things in a weird way, but you're too deep in to change it. VCO 2, my second oscillator here, is being directly controlled from my normal pitch track here, but I have it actually plugged in because I have other stuff going into the VCO input up there and that white cable up there. There was something strange that happened where if I had this plugged in or not, it affected it differently, or rather, if I had this plugged in versus if I didn't have anything plugged in here and it came in naturally, it worked differently, and I don't know why. But anyway, my main sequence down here, and that is all going, let's see if we can trace it. That's going out of here into the metalizer, out of the metalizer into a VC of my hexagram that's being CV'd by the AD envelope like you normally would on the Minibrute, but now it's not going through the filter of the Minibrute because I wanted to use the sisters. My VCA2 is going into here and then CV'd by the AD envelope, and then that output is going over here to the low side input of the Three Sisters. So let's see if we can listen to this, what this guy sounds like. So let me go ahead and turn these other voices off. And again, that's into the metalizer. So if I turn up the metalizer, so pitch input of the VCO2 coming from the keyboard spot here, out of here into the metalizer, out of the metal output into a VCA, which is being controlled by AD envelope right here. Out of that into the Three Sisters here. So, the second voice that's happening is with Plaits. Plaits is being sequenced by the velocity track here. Just kind of being, got another interesting little, I think I'm in Dorian or something. I just kind of twisted knobs to find a cool little melody. We're hearing a little bit of sound coming through here because of, I've got an LFO connected to this, but I'll talk about that later. But anyway, Plaits is being sequenced by that and triggered by these gates here from my pressure track. So you'll notice they have different lengths. This guy's only 9 and this guy is 12, I believe. Oh no, it goes to the full 16 for the gates. So that guy then out of Plaits into this second attenuator that's just in here. Since I'm not using the amplifier at all of the Minibrute, that was free to just do whatever I wanted it to, because I needed to turn it down just to get a little better level mixed with this. So here is what Plaits sound like by itself. This is going into the center input of my Three Sisters, so it's a band pass. So the pitch, 9 steps of pitch with these 16-step gates going into the bandpass of the Three Sisters. So those two are crossfading like this. So that's what's happening with those two. Let's talk about the other things that are happening with this voice here. Into the FM, I have two things coming into it that I'm mixing together, I believe. Oh nope, it's just the ADSR here. So the ADSR out is going into the FM like you normally would on a lot of things. So my ADSR of this that is doing the rhythm of the lower voice, which is kind of interesting, I'm just realizing. And then in the quality input here, I have an LFO, my LFO1, that I'm turning down a little bit through the first attenuator of this. And then I'm sending that into the quality, and then also that's going to the dry wet knob of the effects aid. So that's the first two voices. Output all of those is going in over here, and then out. I'm not sure why I did it twice. I think I was CVing it earlier, but that ended up not. But anyway, so it's going in over here needlessly, and then out in here into the mixer part here, this small mixer on the Minibrute. Hang on a second. Let's just stop. So coming into the little mixer here, this is the output of the Three Sisters, and then here's where things had to get interesting. This guy is taking out that same signal of the Three Sisters, sending it up here to maths. It's the choral one over here. Because now this is where I had to get things interesting, because this effects aid is outputting left and right channels differently, and that it's really important for the reverb. But my sisters was mono, and I didn't really have a good way to mix that normally. So the output of the sisters is coming into here, and then another copy of it's going up to the maths, and then the left and right out of my FX aid. One of them's going into maths here, and the other one's going into the other mixer spot here. And then those both, the output of maths, this orange guy down here, and the output of this little mixer, the green guy right here, are what are actually going to my left and right output for that. So that I could mix together my stereo signal from this that we'll just talk about in a second, into two different copies of what's coming through the sisters, which is the two voices from Plaits and VCO2. And then those are being mixed together with the left and right channels of this into the left and right channels there. So that's how I had to kind of work it through with this little mixer down here. And then two channels of maths. The center two that you can see are just kind of attenuating it and then sending it out. So that's the first two voices and how I mix them with the effects aid. So the effects, the reverb sound then is being sequenced by my Varigate 4 Plus. So the pitch out of that is going into the pitch input of VCO1. The channel 2 here, which is gates, is sending gates into the trigger input of channel 4 here. And then, what's the screen one doing? Oh, that guy, and the channel 3 is of my Varigates is sending out some somewhat random voltages into the both input of channel 1, and then what channel 1 is doing is every once in a while, on some pretty low probabilities, it is being triggered on this really slow wave that will eventually turn up these quicker waves of this. So that's where we get this sound here. So if I go ahead and hear, let's kick this all off. I'm going to unplug the lower two voices, and we'll just have this happen. So So this is the sound of Varigate 4 Plus sequencing VCO 1 of the Minibrute. And then that, which one am I taking? I'm taking the sawtooth wave out into my VCA, and then the CV input is a slightly turned down version of channel, or a channel 4's quick waves being CV'd as well by channel 1 here. So when channel 1 hits off, again, that's being triggered by, there we go. That turns up, letting us hear, or letting this turn up and down the volume of the sound we're actually hearing. And then all of that is then output into the mono channel of my effects aid, which, let's just crank that up down. Gives us this background of everything. And I can control the volume of new stuff being added to the effects aid with channel 4 here. I also at one point just unplugged this so it never re-triggered, and we just kind of had it fade in the background there. And then again, the left and right of this are being mixed into the left and right, or a copy of this here in maths and down in this mixer. And that's really all that's happening with the effect. I did mention as well the LFO. I'm using one of the LFOs that's in sequence with the clock to just slightly change the quality here and the dry wet of that. So that brings us to this. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed it. It was interesting working through how I'm gonna use these guys in my flow of things, and how it all is gonna work out. So, peace.